Hello YouTube! Today a video about the Markarth incident, an often overlooked part in recent lore. I had about 50 requests pending for this topic, so I felt it was about time for me to deal with this often overlooked topic. I'm sorry that this video took so long to make, but the weather in the Netherlands is just too warm and I can't really stand sitting inside. Even here I just feel myself getting sweaty. But with that said, let's kick off with this video, since the weather here has no influence on how you watch this video. In the year 174 of the 4th era, the Empire was in the midst of the Great War. As the troops of the Empire were recalled from the provinces to fight in the war, some groups, looking for a change, seized their opportunity during this time. Such a group were the Reachmen. For ages they had lived under Imperial control in the Reach, and therefore also under Nord control, as the Reach was a hold of Skyrim, and thus ruled by the Jarl, and in extension the High King of Skyrim, who was a supporter of the Empire. For years they had been dissatisfied, and when the Empire removed its troops from Skyrim to fight, they seized their opportunity and took control of the Reach by capturing Markarth when the city was left vulnerable due to Imperial recalls. The few guards left in the city were quickly overrun by the Reachmen, and control of the hold shifted to the Reachmen and their king Medinag. When the Nordic Jarl Hrolfdir was driven out of the city, King Medinag officially started his Reachman kingdom. They then ruled over the Reach as an independent kingdom for nearly 2 years. They ruled their kingdom relatively peaceful and permitted most Nords to stay in the city. Only the fiercest Nords were put to execution, but they ruled in peace and relative prosperity, while down south the Great War raged on and claimed thousands of lives. Tens of thousands even. The kingdom under King Medinag was actually quite successful, and they were working with Imperial officials that were left in Skyrim to get recognition as a separate kingdom from Skyrim within the Empire. A bit how Orsinium was in High Rock, but for the law a different province and partially sovereign territory. They wanted to get that kind of recognition. And those talks actually went pretty well. However, after the Great War, the former Jarl Hrolfdir, wanted to retake Markarth, but with no Imperial legions to spare for the provinces in the aftermath of the Great War, he enlisted some Nord local brigades under the leadership of one commander, Ulfric Stormcloak. In exchange for Ulfric's help, he promised to allow free Talos worship in the Reach when it was back under his rule, under the rule of the Jarl. With the power of the voice that Ulfric possessed and the fierce Nordic warriors, the Ulfric's militia drove the Reachmen from the city. And all major strategic spots in the hold were also reclaimed in the Reach in the name of Jarl Hrolfdir and Commander Ulfric Stormcloak. Nearly all Reachmen were killed in this, and those that survived fled and hid in the hills and became the Forsworn. But after this retake, Ulfric remained in the city with the Jarl, and then he and the Jarl conspired to execute all officials that had cooperated with the Reachmen, and tortured a lot of the population to give up the names and locations of a few Reachmen that had fled into the hills. They killed all that did not cooperate with the takeover, whether Breton, Reachmen or Nord. All that did not stand with Ulfric and the Jarl were killed on their command. They dubbed the Forsworn terrorists, and their king Medinag was captured and sent to Sitna Mine prison, where he would be used as a tool against the remaining terrorists by the Jarl of Markarth. In Markarth, things took a turn for the worse. Chaos was running in the city and the deaths rose every day. But the remaining people there remained in free Talos worship. However, when after some time the Empire restored its military power, the Legion arrived back in Skyrim. Ulfric and his militia refused to give them access to the city, unless free worship of Talos was guaranteed. Wanting to help restore order in Markarth, because, well, it was just a chaos over there, the Legion reluctantly agreed officially to allow Talos worship in Skyrim. Talos, while banned in the Empire, was unofficially still worshipped by nearly everyone in Cyrodiil, High Rock and Skyrim. Since the Dominion could not check if anyone did it, all they cared about was the official ban. Or so the Empire thought. But it was at this moment that the Empire officially agreed for Skyrim to get Talos worship back on paper that the Dominion got an air of it and stopped it. The Dominion used heavy diplomatic pressure to make it so that Ulfric and his men were arrested overnight, and Talos worship was banned once more in Skyrim. And this time, because of the Markarth incident, the Empire had to let some Thalmor agents into Skyrim as inspectors to see if the Empire was actually complying in Skyrim, because Skyrim was an incident zone. Now nobody could worship Talos anymore in Skyrim. Something people don't really seem to get is that the Talos ban was not being taken seriously anywhere, and people worshipped it unofficially, but Ulfric gave the Thalmor just the tools and just the opportunity to send inspectors by forcing the Empire's hand to allow it. Now Cyrodiil and High Rock presumably still worship Talos unofficially, even though the ban is less of a big deal over there, while Skyrim, due to Ulfric's meddling, there are now huge Thalmor Justicar movements. This is of course not ideal, but that was the story and aftermath of the Markarth incident. This whole story has even a little more aftermath since Ulfric after this got imprisoned and actually got there his big distaste for the Empire, which ultimately led to the Stormcloak Rebellion. And also you get an opportunity to either free or kill Medenek in a quest called I forgot what it was called, but in a quest with the Forsworn in Skyrim, where you could also get escape Sitna Mine, with him or without him, whether you killed him. But guys, that was it. I hope you really liked it. If you liked the video, like, subscribe. If you want to support me on Patreon, that is also possible. There you get your name at the end of every video and exclusive access to my exclusive soundtrack, which I had made. And also, if you want personal contact with me, there is my Discord and Instagram in the description. Leave your future video suggestions in the comments, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.